Welcome to another lesson on moon phases over our flat earth. I've just put up 3 videos. I thought that would be it, but I've got a lot more information, so I thought I'd put another video up. This is video 4, so check out the previous ones. Yeah, it's pretty hard to grasp what's going on. I don't explain it that well, but this might finalise a few things. So check out the other videos. You don't have to see them before this, but anyway. So we'll get into it. You'll find this very interesting. You wouldn't have seen or heard this before, okay? It's understanding how why the moon is phasing. It's not, the part of the moon that we see is not reflected from the sun. It's the opposite. It's the shadow of the sun. And it's all to do with alignments. Okay? So let's start up here. The moon spirals into the sun over 14 days, stays hidden for 2.2 days, then spirals out over 14 days. Approximately for a synodic month, 29.52 days roughly, which is full moon to full moon. And a sidereal month is in respect to the stars and the sun, because it's basically the sun leaving everything behind, because it's faster, you see. So what happens is when the sun is quicker, it causes extra stars to be seen when night falls. A few more stars just in behind the sun now. But the sun is quicker and races around, and you'll lose stars at the other end of the cycle. So because the sun is always quicker, you're always going to get that little bit more stars showing up, and losing that amount at the other end, because they'll be in the light of the sun. Because these ones that were up by the sun are now being exposed in the night time because the sun's moved on, right? This is what happens. The sun laps the stars. But really it is in regards to the sun being that little bit quicker. If the sun gets around quicker, then it causes the stars and moon's journey to appear to be shortened. I've drawn a little picture here, so if you put them both together, you're starting here, there's your moon, there's your sun, and off they go. The sun's quicker, so it's past that moon, race right around here, way ahead of all these moons, and then before you know it's way up there to the finish line already, left the moons behind. So now that moon cycle seems a lot shorter, doesn't it? But it's not the scale, which makes it say that that cycle is shorter, which becomes a shorter sidereal month, but it's only by 2.2 days, thereabouts. So we have the sun's speed, the moon's speed, and the star's speed. They're all different. The sun does 2 to 1 with the stars over 1 year, and the 2 to 1 with the moon over 1 month. Physics knows about the 2 to 1, but it's in their physics, they call it other stuff, but they understand there's something going on 2 to 1. Well, it's all happening here. It's all atomic stuff, atoms and stuff. And this is what we live in an atom anyway. That's what it's all about. So I'll put that down. Now, this is the cycle. The centre, the core. Above the Arctic centre is the vortex, the central vortex, the turning vortex. The vortex that turns the northern sky, star rotation, star trails, turns the Buford Gaia down here. Okay, it's all turning from the centre. Magnetic fields come out of the centre because it's the toroidal field. Boof. There's the magnetic field. But this is the moon cycle. It comes out like that. New moon in here, all the way out to full moon. And it comes back in again. That's what I've got here in a blown up scale. See, you've got the cardanoid here. So you start here and go, and it spirals out, all the way out here to full moon. And then it comes back in. And you get your cardanoid. Central spot is dead center, or just off center actually. Where is it? Where's that center? Anyway, it looks like that. That's good enough for this video, I'd say. There's the new moon. The sun's back here on the horizon of the black hole. It's the black hole. Center of the black hole is the vortex. State of inertia, that's where Earth is from, the black hole. Because it's at rest. Nothing going on in the center of a vortex. Whirlpool is that. It's all around the horizon. But it's noisy if you put your ear to it. It's the amplifier. So the sun's frequencies are all amplified across the black hole. Our whole realm is amplified from this black hole. Everything comes out of there. So this is daytime across the black hole. And this will be where you'll find that the new moon we don't see, blinded by the sun, hidden in the sun's light. But when it spirals all the way out, it's right out here. Here's another sketch down here. The new moon's down here in the lower field to us, new moon, spirals all the way up to here, right out there to the Saturn region. These are the 7 layers of the atmosphere, the 7 wandering stars. It's all about music, frequencies, density, gaseous layers, moisture, all starts from water, turns to all sorts of gases till it gets right up to here to hydrogen and helium. Then gets sucked back into the sun, the core, and turned back into beautiful hydrogenated water. Back into the perfect Gaia. So this is man at the centre. Man is from the whole as well. So here's the new stuff. Exciting bit to understand about the moon phases is the moon we see is the shadow of the sun. There's always the shadow of the sun. It's not the sun giving it light. The moon phases we see are the electrons at their resting state. And that's what the moon is. Because the part of the moon we don't see is the heated part. The sun is, they vibrate in the heat, the electrons, if you want to call them that. It's just the heat, it's just the way it is. You will understand that if you understand physics. So that's the guts. So, and it's all to do with the alignment of the black hole centre. There has to be the alignment of the sun where we see it, between the sun, the black hole centre, and the moon phase, because it's the shadow and it has to cross the centre, has to be in alignment with the centre of the whole. And it's because man is from the whole, I've been telling you all along, man has a shadow. Well, every object on earth has a shadow. It's the sun, the object, and the shadow. There's always an alignment. Exact same thing happens up here with the moon. Shadow. It's the alignment from the black hole, centre. Right in here. And that's how we get our solar eclipses and stuff too. It's all in alignment with the centre of the black hole. So if you come back down to this drawing, let's say you've got the moon way down here at new moon, and there's the magnetic field. Magnetic field coming out of centre Earth. The sun always follows the magnetic field. Sun's pointing this way. If you're on the Earth at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be 1 o'clock there, 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 1 o'clock there. The curving magnetic field. Okay? The sun follows that curve. So there's the curve. Imagine the curve like that. And Mercury comes along and hits the alignment. That's a solar eclipse. Okay? That is a solar eclipse. Mercury in line at new moon creates a solar eclipse. Full moon is the sun's full shadow behind the sun. I put S-O-N to remind me what to say. I've just described that. Like man, we are all from the whole. We're all from the whole. We've come out of the whole. We all exist from out of here. That's what's we've been created, and the sun has given us the life. Moon gives us new birth, actually. This is the mother and the father. Love thy mother and thy father in the Bible. This is what it's referring to, not your physical mother and father. What have we got here? The sun's image we see, but the actual sun's image we see but the actual sun is back at the centre of creation. It's back in here, right in there where we do not see it. In here, we don't see it here. It's manifested out here in the atmospheric layers, the plasma field. It's a focal point because it's a projector, projects from out of the centre the images. This is our world out here. That's how it works. At the beginning of this magnetic field, it's way back here, and it sends its pretty picture all the way out here. It's always at the top of the spectrum. We have to see through this light spectrum, all these layers, to get to this sun. When the sun lines up with the black hole centre and the moon, it is new moon. If Mercury passes in this line, we get a solar eclipse. Mercury nullifies the moon's one frequency. Now here's something you never would have heard before. They all have their frequencies, right? The sun has to have all the frequencies. But Mercury has they all have the moon's frequency within them. So what happens is Mercury, or maybe just Mercury comes in front, comes in the alignment, it cancels out the one frequency the moon has. See, if they've got a matching frequency, it nullifies it. It's like the magnetic fields. You're just always seeking equilibrium, and if they're matched, it nullifies that frequency. And that's what Mercury does. It nullifies the moon's frequency to the sun. Therefore the sun goes black at that position. It's not totally black all over the world, is it? It's just in that part of the world as it passes in front. It doesn't pass in front, the sun actually moves over it. It's just because the sun is quicker, remember? It's turning back in here, but it's moving across here quicker. This is our arc of horizon. I'll tell you that. This is man's arc of horizon. Every man has one. Wherever he goes, this dome goes with him. 180 degrees, 360 degrees all around him. It's all relative to him, the observer. Special relativity, really. Because he is from the whole. We're a fractal of this whole earthly system. if that's the word. Some guys argue I'm not using the right word. So it's the same thing. Okay? You get all the different planets all the way up here, right to the light spectrum. And all these layers represent frequency layers. So I can send a frequency and it travel around the world in that band. Or that one. Or that one. You know, imaginary satellites are up there. These are the real satellites. NASA knows that. That's why they've conjured the word satellite. Stars were known as satellites. Here's one. 14 days is the same as the female on Earth cycle. The uterus lining. Moon lining. That's what the moon's doing. It's like forming a skin, isn't it? It's the same thing. It's the female up there as above, so below. There is also a place in the woman's anatomy of the cycle moon pattern. Spirals in like this. I'll let you figure out where that is. The cycle shifts a fraction west. So it'll spiral out and then it'll come back in. But it's always moving that little bit west. It's always in a slightly a fraction more west. All the way around the Earth. And it gets back to its perfect position it once was at 19 years later. That's a metonic cycle, moon cycle. If the sun's 360-degree journey is quicker than the stars or moon, then the stars or moon's journey is going to appear shorter if the sun catches it early. About it. We've got half cycle is half moon. Yeah. I've wandered off the video. I'm trying to break down that. I got carried away with this fact here. The alignment's causing the shadow. Trying to explain, why the shadows are not the sun's reflection, even though we see it on the same side as the sun in the sky. But the secret is the fact that the images are not the fact. What we see in the sky is not the fact. It's imitation. Plato's dialogue. Socrates tries to tell us all this. It's all false. This is why Earth is false. It's full of lies. Everything we've been told is basically lies. And it's known as hell. It's not the first state, it's the second state. The real true state is back in here. That's where we come from, that's where we go back to. Let's go in deep. The cycle shifts a fraction. Been there, done that. Shadowing of the moon is via the black hole sun. It's alignment. People like to think it's the black sun. No, it's the black hole sun. The sun is on the black hole. That's how we create the solar eclipses, okay? The sun goes black because Mercury nullifies the one frequency the moon has. Slither of sun. Oh, that was when I was trying to do the phases. I spent a lot of time going over this board. Probably rubbed it out 3 times and overdrawn it. You understand this? The sun's analemma. The magnetic field. Whoa, yo. Check out Nigel Cheese for this sort of stuff. The choke point, convergence. No choke point out here in the south. You see this? Pretty cool, eh? The cardanoid. Check out the cardanoids on YouTube. All comes in with a pretty picture. That cardanoid will move as the moon cycle moves around the earth over the months, over the years. See, this has got another circle within a circle here too. A bit like the Prague clock. But yeah, because it's offset. It is too actually. There's an offset there, isn't it? Shows it's offset from the centre, isn't it? well, offset from this one, I think, yeah, might be pretty well identical. So there's the two spiraling effects. There's the magnetic field, and then there's the moon spiraling out and spiraling back in. Remember, as the sun aims away from the moon wanders out. Then the sun's frequency beam catches up to as it's catching up to the moon starts going back in again. In, out, up, down. That's how the system works. Remember, we're from the whole. Everything is from the whole. Our whole creation is from the whole. There's the plane of inertia inside there, horizontally, is Earth, fixed and stationary. The sun turns. The sun moves. The Milky Way turns. It's all vertical back here in the centre of the Earth. Seen horizontally out here, of course. I've only drawn this. This is the central northern hemisphere, because that's where everything's happening. Straight up from the centre, straight up from there, it's all there. What's happening out south is the same, but it's a parabolic image all the way around. As this turns, it turns an image all the way around. No matter where you're standing out south there, you'll always get an image, a parabolic mirrored image turning. That's the guts. Well, that's the guts actually in there, but it's bursting the picture out for us to see in our realm, all the way from there to there, the equator, around the Earth. We put the tropical zone all the way around here. And someone was saying if the sun is moving around the flat Earth, how do we get the sun coming straight at the equinox? Well, it's all to do with the man's arc of horizon. It's all reflected from the centre. Imagine something reflected out from the centre into your dome, arc of horizon. 180 degrees, 360 degrees, crossing over your dome. They say it can't happen, but it does, because it's just the way it is. And then you have to look at Orion's belt, because at the equinox, where the sun is equal, out in the middle of the tropics, that's only for a day or two at the equinox. Well, if you go to one of those monuments where they've got the holes and you can see the sun for a day or two through that hole, straight, crossing the sky straight, you can always refer back to Orion's belt, because Orion's belt is in the centre here for 9 months of the year. So you stand at one of those holes and check out one of the stars in the Orion's belt, and you'll see it's doing that for 9 months of the year. But it's all going around the Earth, but man is just a fractal in here, and the image is projected out onto his dome. And it all comes back to, where's the pen? This system here, like that, and then straight to the middle here is Orion's belt, and that's the sun at equinox as well. You've seen the owl? It's all in alchemy, spiritual alchemy, or whatever they call it. All esoteric knowledge. It's all been known. It's all been written. Thousands of books, but all hidden from schooling, from your indoctrination system. All hidden. All this was known. Just have to know where to look and what to believe. Thanks, guys. I hope you got a bit out of that. I actually learned a bit myself today. Well, I knew this stuff like a couple of years ago, but you forget. And unless you put it in pictures like this, you don't really fully understand it. But well, that blew me away. A couple of things blew me away. Well, the fear just recently, because I've just discovered this recently, is that the moon being the sun's shadow, and how it works with the flat, with across the earth like this, just the same as man down here on earth. It was mind blowing. And the field, this curving field, it deceives us. It makes us think the sun is creating the phasing of the sun, moon, because it's on that side of the moon. But no, the actual sun is on the other side. But you've got to understand the spiralling out of the moon, and then to try and understand why that sun back there is lighting up the other side. I'll leave it at that. Start confusing myself. Cheers everybody.